And hello, everybody. My name is NikoTheLegend, also known as the Well-Mannered Teenager and the Snowflake. We're here to talk about how Mass Effect 3's ending isn't as bad as people remember. But before I get into that, for those of you that have not seen the 400 subscriber thank you video, I'll just say it here real quick. Thank you guys for subscribing to the NikoTheLegend channel, and we're celebrating 400 subscribers with the thank you video, this video, and maybe some other cool stuff. But yeah, the thank you video has more details on what I have planned in store for the channel, about things that have happened or that are going to happen and then not going to happen, and maybe a few surprises here and there. But anyway, yeah, thanks again. So let's talk about this ending. Okay, so we all know how much Mass Effect has shaped our lives for ones that we have played, and for the games we played and the trilogy we experienced. One of the best experiences we ever had. Andromeda is not one of those. And I think it's great that we actually talk about this topic, because there's nothing else really to talk about on the internet. Let's just be honest. I'll be honest with you guys. There's really nothing else to talk about with BioWare related stuff. I've looked. At least for me, there hasn't been anything too interesting that would interest you guys. So maybe this video will do okay. Maybe you guys will think of it as a, oh boy, yeah, here's a topic that's been talked about for years now, and it still won't go away. But let's look at it on a different approach. Let's look at a side of trying to understand what BioWare was trying to do involving this ending. Now, I'm not excusing them, of course, for making an ending that seemed to make no fucking sense in a lot of people's eyes. I'm not giving them the excuse for, you know, being lazy and rushing through that part. But we are trying. What we're doing here is we are trying to understand how we actually got to the ending in terms of making those very limited choices in the end, when everything added up to nothing from what we did before. So, for what I made out from this article basically talks about how controversial the ending was, how players seem to make like I said before, make all these kinds of decisions in the game, and from the first two games, and then obviously throughout the third game, and then in the end we were left to a Star Child talking to us about control, synthesize, and destroy, and then obviously with the extended cut you can shoot the Star Kid. So that's the fourth ending. But in the beginning we didn't have that. In the beginning we had vagueness, transparency, and ambiguity, and something that the game has never done before. It's never really left it up to us to make a decision like that, where nothing else mattered, to be honest, you know, in terms of like our decisions, you know, coming all together up to one thing. But as this article suggests, that we maybe saw this in the wrong way, and I think pretty much mainly the reason how we came to that transparency and that lack of understanding, just bear with me here, I'm trying to see my eyes through this guy's eyes, is that because the ending had such a, like I said, it was dealt in such a poor manner that the damage was so harsh that it just left us in some kind of trance, and we were like dumbfounded. And what I mean by transparency is the lack of cutscenes, the lack of explanation of what this all means and what our decisions are actually doing. Like, why am I destroying it? Like, what's the big deal? Why is the ship flying away from some explodey thing? How are we on this planet? What the fuck's going on? You know, like that type of stuff. So that was something I completely understand, because I was one of those people that experienced that, because I got the game on day one and I beat it, you know, not as fast as I could, but you know, as I wanted to finish up the trilogy and just feel the power, you know, feel the victory over the Reapers. But because of that really poor excuse of ending cutscenes, we were left in the dark for a while. We were left with a scratching of our head, not understanding what the hell just transpired. So, after a bunch of harassment to BioWare and a lot of, you know, like, what the frick, guys, what the hell? They finally succumbed to our demands of giving us something a little more proper and understanding what our decisions are actually doing for the world. but the damage was already done. So, but for me, the extended cut was still pretty emotional. I enjoyed it. I really liked what they did. It's something that they should have done in the beginning. They just rushed it because, EA likes to fuck everything over. Anthem, Andromeda, Battlefront 2. So, you get the idea. Now, let's get to the nitty gritty. From what this article suggests, it suggests that the ending of Mass Effect 3 isn't just that last part of the game. It's actually the whole game is the ending of Mass Effect 3. And what we did wrong was we saw it through, we saw it through, we had major tunnel vision when it came to this part in the end of the game. I think because the emotions were so powerful around that time, so established, that we felt like it was left up to the three strings of fate being snipped by in the underworld. And we couldn't probably rationalize what the hell was going on because of how poorly they handled the cutscenes and everything in the end. So it kind of negated everything Mass Effect 3 and the trilogy was building up to, which is a damn shame because, like I said, if we had those extended endings and cutscenes, it wouldn't have been that bad. Sure, it probably doesn't excuse them for all our decisions lead up to just 4 choices and then some better better cutscenes here and there, but it wouldn't have been that bad. It would have been a lot better if they didn't half-ass it. But like I said, the guy does make the author of this does make a point. This is the finale game. This is the ending of the trilogy. Everything that's happening has led down to this moment, whether you think it's bad or good. So to see it like that, to make all those finalized choices, and then it was something bigger. And these choices in the end of the game was something that we had to think about from all the way through for what we've done. Like I said, it was hard to do that. Because this is it was like a WTF moment. Me, for example, I wasn't so offended by these decisions when they were happening to me, because the whole setting looked fucking awesome where you were on the Catalyst, or where you were at in space and stuff, and you're just seeing all this stuff happen. It looked amazing, and the soundtrack was awesome. It was fantastic. And like I said, but it didn't help how we weren't given enough background or understanding what was going on, because the Star Child had shit script and lines. It didn't make any sense. And then we're like, okay. And then we're just kind of had to go wing it. Me, I just knew what I was going to do from the get-go. We had to go in there, destroy the Reapers. They're going to kill all things of life. So I automatically knew what to do. I went for the destroy ending, and they made it seem like it was the bad thing, of course, because the Reapers want to survive. They don't want you to think that destroying them is the good thing, because these color options is from what they see it as, not from what you see it. Well, technically, I mean, if you believe in the whole Shepard indoctrination theory, then yeah, maybe Shepard was seeing it like that. But anyway, you get the idea. It's interesting because this trilogy is, I think the trilogy is perfect. I never had a problem with it. I loved every second of it. You could say there was problems with the ending for Mass Effect 2 with the Human Reaper being a crappy end boss. You could say Mass Effect 1 was too slow or too much repetitive environments. But I get it. The Mass Effect 3 ending was the most controversial part. I'm just saying, not all the games were perfect, despite what you think of them. Many people will say Mass Effect 2 is perfect. Not true. Many will say Mass Effect 3 was the worst game in the trilogy. Not true. There are many, it's just obviously it's just an opinion. It's what you guys think. But that's how I see it from this author of the article, is that we had to see it from outside the box. If you understood what they were trying to portray with the ending and what Mass Effect 3 was really about, then you'll see it in a much better light. Then you'll actually might sleep well at night. Now, like I said, I'm not giving them an excuse. Trust me, I'm not giving an excuse for rushing the ending and skipping out on what was the most influential ending in it, probably in any game or entertainment history. Because this was a big deal. This was a big deal. So, with that said, I wanted to hear what you guys think about the ending. Have you come to reconcile with it? Have you felt better these days about it? Does it still piss you off? Maybe sometimes you have to go back and play it again, play the whole trilogy again, give it another shot, give the third game another shot. If you're one of those people that played the third game and stopped playing it after that ending, give it another chance. I'm not saying that you should just completely just throw out everything that they did to you, but just, play with the extended cut, play with all the DLC and all that, enjoy it to its fullest potential, the best that it can be enjoyed. And then I want to hear that. I want to hear how you guys dealt with that. So yeah, what did the Mass Effect 3 game, what did it truly mean to you in Mass Effect 3? And you know what? I know this seems a bit rash, but you know what? Maybe the ending was the reason we got Andromeda. Maybe. Just maybe. Anyway, thanks again, guys. I know this wasn't a very newsworthy video, but I hope it does something. I hope it does something. Make you scratch your head a little bit, think about those horrible memories, those nightmares, or just like those WTF moment you had in the ending. But yeah, I'm waiting for better news, just like you guys. There hasn't been really shit. So anyway, take care, Pathfinders.